Hello, this is Audrey. Welcome to day 23 of the 25 days of Copilots. Today we're going to talk about a good subject as we close out these 25 days and we head into our final 3 days. We want to talk about the new Microsoft Copilot Studio Implementation Guide. So as we all get more involved with using Copilots, we're going to have some great ideas about how we can build our own. And as you can see from this series, you have many options for how you can approach this. So, due to popular demand, we've put together an implementation guide so that you'll have everything you need to know exactly what you need to think about as you build your own Copilots. And if you leverage Copilot Studio, this will give you a wealth of opportunities. So I'm going to share these two links. The aka.ms Copilot Studio Implementation Review will open up a deck with so much critical information for you to understand as you plan your own Copilot implementations. And you can open it and download it in your own environment to discuss with your teams. Now, if you have feedback on this implementation review, we ask that you provide it directly in GitHub rather than in the description of this video or on the community page. We really want to capture your feedback and your questions on the implementation review and how it is helping you. That link is aka.ms and then just type Copilot Studio Implementation Guide feedback. All right, so the two AKA links are similar. One is review and one is guide feedback. And so you can use those links. Now, right now, I'm going to take you to the blog that was released earlier this month by Audrie James from the PowerCat team. He talks about why this guide was put together and what it can do for you. And as we look at this guide and kind of see some examples of what's in there, you'll notice a great ability to showcase the architecture of a Copilot, but also to showcase how do you plan a new new Copilot? How do you roadmap that? What things do you need to think about? It does cover application lifecycle management. Because Copilots are also solution aware. So how do you handle that? What things in that process of distribution do you need to handle manually? And what are some useful resources that you can get your hands on to kind of work through what you need to think about? I love that these slides have these post-it sections where you can have a question and an answer to get your team talking about this so that you'll be set up for success. And each of the slides kind of talk about what is there to consider. Now, during this series, we talked a lot about generative answers, right? And how that works in Copilot Studio. But I love how it breaks that down into major components where it talks about public data versus internal data such as SharePoint documents, how Azure or OpenAI or Azure is partnering with OpenAI to give you a superior security model as well as protecting your data and your prompts, how uploaded documents are handled. It gives you, I noticed it gives you here on this slide, the max 3 megabyte limit, and that is per file. And those files are stored in Dataverse, and we talked about that a little bit, but this will give you more details about that. And then the handling of custom data, which may include GET or POST HTTP requests, actions, plugins, and things like that that may happen under the covers for your end users. It gives some examples to help you walk through how this works in real life. And these examples and this architecture is standing behind the Success by Design framework. The Success by Design framework is based on 3 primary principles. 1, early discovery, being able to identify and deal with potential issues at the earliest possible stage. Then secondly, proactive guidance, like giving you advice before you hit the issue, as opposed to being reactive and having a support ticket. How about we get in front of those things to give you the advice you need so those issues don't get raised? Or if they do, you'll know how to troubleshoot them in advance. And then finally, the third principle is being able to predict success through a concrete roadmap for success that leverages tested strategies and methods and avoids common pitfalls and anti-patterns. Now, Microsoft has spent years developing this Success by Design methodology, and therefore the implementation guide leverages a lot of those lessons learned and best practices that we put together in that methodology. So what you'll notice in the implementation guide are these chapters: an overview of the project. So as you begin to plan your Copilot, helping you to create an overview hypotheses of what this project is, maybe a problem statement. Then you have an architecture overview, a language, understanding the functionalities of artificial intelligence, understanding integrations and channels, the different channels you have to publish to, and what can easily be integrated with your Copilot. And then I know many of you are concerned about how do we make sure security is good? How do we make sure we monitor what's happening with these Copilots to validate that it's successful, but also to confirm there's no non-compliance and our governance specifications are being respected. Then there's also a chapter on ALM, or Application Lifecycle Management, where you'll get a chance to understand the prerequisites and the requirements for distribution of your Copilots, from ideation all the way through to potential sunset. And then you have analytics and KPIs to help you validate the value and really be able to confirm the return on your investment. Gaps and top requests. And then finally, it talks about the Dynamics 365 Omnichannel, which is optional. So normally in the past, these chapters would be delivered by Microsoft to an enterprise customer. But now it can be used by any of you. You can just take this document and implement these chapters in your own enterprise or business, right? So you can download it today using those AKA links that I gave you. Now, when you get to the first AKA link, you'll see that there is a PowerPoint presentation. So this is really easy to assimilate, and you can download this. And now you get ready to deliver this at your company. You'll change the workshop date and you'll brand it for yourself. But then you'll take these principles and you'll break them down with your team, helping them to understand how this applies to the Copilots that you're planning. We have full instructions for both customers and partners to deliver this workshop live in your own company. And so everything is outlined for you. You're welcome to download this and leverage it as is, or to customize it to meet your company's needs. There are templates and worksheets in here that you can fill out live while you're talking to people, while you're determining what's important for your implementations. And you'll have all the heads up you need so that you'll think of these things ahead of time and not after maybe something, becomes an issue. So love the proactive nature of this and how detailed it is from a interactive workshop perspective, but also from a template and best practices perspective. It actually helps you understand all the necessary components for success. So although the product is going to try to make this very easy for you to do, the product can't make these decisions for you. And so by looking through the implementation guide, you'll know what decisions you need to make, and you'll be able to work with your stakeholders to build the copilots that do the best thing for your domain. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing your feedback, which you will post on GitHub after you've gone through this. Feel free to review the deck and post questions on GitHub if something doesn't make sense, and or make suggestions where you see gaps, or even just say thank you for the parts that really help you with planning. We want to know how this wins for you, but also what do you think is missing? What else should we include in this implementation guide so that any company can succeed making their own copilots? So I'm going to leave you with that today on day 23. We have 2 days left. Tomorrow we have Donovan, who will be talking to us about Power Pages and the Pro Dev aspect of that. And then it's going to be Christmas. Time flies when you're having fun. So I wish you all a happy holiday season. I hope you're surrounded by love and family. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 24 of the 25 days of Copilots. Thank you again for your time for watching this, and happy holidays.